Get ready to take a look behind the scenes and enter the impossible for the Between Two Minds podcast with our hosts, Judge Mentalist and Bernardo Rodriguez. Can they really tell you what you're thinking?
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting interview here of the Between Two Minds podcast, specifically leading up to this September's Michigan International Hypnosis Conference. If you are watching this, I have realized now, and these are kind of some of the tech things that when you go live in the moment, even when you've scheduled something, Facebook changes things in their algorithm. So if you were watching this live, you were probably only watching it on the YouTube feed. If you are watching it in replay, then you are most definitely watching it at least streamed from YouTube, whether or not it has been plopped onto Facebook or not. So I apologize for anybody who was looking to see this live on Facebook. There's a little glitch in the matrix right now, so we may or may not be live on Facebook. If you are on YouTube watching this live, feel free to drop something in the comment if you have questions for our guests. I'm not going to waste any more time getting right into our guest, who's somebody who I have known since, I'm pretty sure, maybe not the very first conference, but one of the first conferences that I've attended. And I see him and the crew and everybody at many of these conferences doing really great things for the hypnosis community. And I'm just going to leave it at that, and we'll get into it. Welcome, Shawn Bray. Shawn, good afternoon. How are you?
We're doing pretty darn good. Thank you for that intro. Yeah, it's cool watching you at the conferences, interviewing people live and everything. And that's because I used to do radio. So when I first met you, I was like, oh, cool. We have some things in common.
Yeah, it's it's fun to be able to mix it up. And obviously we've kind of shifted that format, not to say that there won't be live podcasting at the Michigan conference, but it just got to the point where it was like, okay, cool. I'm breaking down all these talks that people have already done. We should be doing this in the reverse of that. I felt like the cart was before the horse there. I'm like, this could be a valuable tool to get out there and really preview what it is that presenters like yourself are going to be talking about and offering at the upcoming conference. Because I know for an absolute fact, because people have reached out to me directly and said, hey, I saw that interview and it pushed me over the edge to attend that conference. Thank you. So I know it works and it's fun. So why not keep doing it? So tell us a little bit more about you for anybody.
Well, I think I want to ride off of what you were just talking about at the conference. Interview some people when they come out of my presentation. Okay. Because once they experience what they're going to get to see there, because we're going to reveal the AI bot that does the interview for the HypnoBiz Success Blueprint. And I think that some heads will be spinning, there'll be jaws that will be dropped, but there'll be some people that'll be able to speak and tell you what they experienced and what they saw. And I imagine there'll be some excited people coming out of the presentation room.
I will not be at all surprised by what you just said there, because for a totally different purpose, and I'll kind of use this as my AI soapbox moment, I guess. I'm using a similar engine to do other things, and it is incredibly impressive. And my AI soapbox moment, I guess, will be to just, my opinion, and I think a lot of people who are successfully using AI share this opinion or have a version of it, is that AI is just a tool. And think of it like a hammer or a chainsaw or a screw gun. It's only as good as what you're going to use that tool.
What you teach it. Yeah.
What you teach it, what you learn about it, and how it operates. You're not going to bang nails into a board with a chainsaw.
Right.
And you shouldn't be.
There are some people that might try.
They might try. But you shouldn't be trying to take a tree down with a hammer. Different tools for different purposes. AI works the exact same way. You have to learn what the tool is, how to properly utilize it. And I know that many of us were introduced, I guess, publicly and through social media, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, with all those weird images with 7 or 8 fingers.
Right.
Would be like, give me a picture of,
I produced some stuff that had fingers and stuff too. So
15 elephants at, a bachelor party. And it's going to create some weird, image that's super just in some weird style that you're not used to. That's not what AI is. That is something that AI can do, but it's not the whole kit and caboodle.
And point and reference, I'll tell you, the Success Blueprint didn't start with AI at all. It wasn't involved in helping to create it or anything. That was something that Melanie and I did for our HypnoBiz in a Box subscribers. It was a way to help us have peace of mind that our subscribers were, fully utilizing the platform, and they had gotten through, certain stages and pipelines as, for their client experience, for their subscriber experience. And we noticed early on, because we started this like 2.5 years ago, almost 3. And, it wasn't until recently we developed the Success Blueprint. And that was because we saw a certain amount of our subscribers, some of them were just in and whoosh off to, success land. There were others that would get in, they'd get so far and then they got stuck. Those are the ones that we were really focused on. The ones that would come in and not do anything to begin with. Obviously, they needed something else to inspire them as well. And so this served both of those purposes. If I may, the HypnoBiz Success Blueprint is something that when it was not with an AI bot, when it was first created, it was just a PDF. And it would say, think about your business. How much money are you making? How much money do you want to make? And are you making the impact you want? Why did you start doing this kind of thing? And it was just something that somebody would read and have to just sort of journal in order to pull it out. And, and we looked at some of the results of the PDF being filled out. We did some interviews and asked, and it was real brief responses to the questions, just the basics, just so they could get on through the document, right, and get into it. But we knew that front end was super important for setting the foundation, for setting the vibe, basically, about what do you want? Why are you doing this? And who do you want to help? Yeah. So all these questions were in there, but it really wasn't coming out as the way that we wanted to. Okay. So the Success Blueprint essentially takes a hypnotist, whether they're on our platform or not, it doesn't matter. And starts off, and now I'm going to segue into the AI bot, since it is an integral part of it now. So on the front end, when you experience the HypnoBiz Success Blueprint, you're going to work with our AI bot, which we don't have a name for yet. So it might be fun having a name contest for this and see if we can come up with a name. But the AI bot will take the front end of the PDF of where it used to be and interview the person. So they click start, and the AI bot's going to go, where are you in your journey? Are you just getting started? Are you wanting to streamline things because you're feeling overwhelmed? Or are you ready to rock and roll it up with some, scaling up your business with courses and memberships and things like that? So it starts asking the hypnotist these general questions about, where are you? Why did you, and it'll mix in the business financial part of it with the passion and the impact, because we know that's why most hypnotists get into this business. I think we're going to see a lot more hypnotists getting into the field of hypnosis because of the money, because it's very much in a stage right now, like a lot of the other major modalities were in the past, like chiropractic or massage therapy or acupuncture. You notice that all those things kind of went through a stage. They were like looked at like, I don't know. And then they got accepted by the medical community, and then it got pushed out. And that's really where hypnosis is right now.
Yeah.
It's at the precipice of people wanting to do this for the money. But right now, most of the people in hypnosis, they're similar to probably me or you, where we had a personal experience with hypnosis and we were entrepreneurial in spirit and driven to help other people. And that combo, clicks when a person experiences hypnosis. Like, oh God, that's life-changing stuff right there, especially if you've been in entrepreneurial or coaching and things like that. So the AI bot will spend about 10, 15 minutes. I mean, it can take a little bit longer because it's open where you can go off the tracks a little bit with the conversation. But the AI bot's pretty much going to bring you back to the line of questioning to find out, why you started doing this. What are you passionate about? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 90 days? How much money do you want to be making? How many people do you want to be serving on a weekly basis? So it grabs all that information, and then with some other interviewing and really digging in, it then produces an action plan. It says, okay, well, if you want to go from making $5,000 a month to $10,000 a month, and you've been seeing this many clients at this rate, well, how do you feel about changing your rate? Or maybe having some packages? Or are you okay with just more volume? I mean, it'll ask, and then the person responds, and it says, okay, well, based on your question, on your responses, then here's an action plan for you that says, here's how you go about making these changes. And here's how you go about, putting it into a system that can help you get there. And that's what the rest of the PDF is all about. So it will go back into the PDF, which is we're going to create bots for these too. But the next part has to do with niche. Because in order to start, the action on those, we got to have clarity on, who you're going to be delivering to, and, what the avatar is. That's the specific person or persons that you want to reach. And it'll.
I just want to interrupt you.
I'm like excited about this, sure.
Because this and what this does is so important and so glossed over and skipped by many, many people who are starting a business. And I'm not just talking about a hypnosis business. I'm talking about any type of business of who are you?
Yep.
What are you offering? What does that mean to your client?
Why are you offering it? Right.
The avatar you mentioned, who is your target clientele? Where do you want to be? And then something to churn out that plan of step by step, do these things to get to the place is missed. That part of the planning. And if you ask 100 people who have recently started a business, if they have a plan and what their plan is, they may nod their head and say, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. But if you were to have this conversation with them, you might have a very, very different response from them, and realize that from a perspective of actually getting to a goal, they don't have a plan. This solves that problem, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I am certain that there are, statistics on success rates compared to somebody who thinks of something and somebody who writes something down. And I don't know whether it's a business plan or a vacation or whatever it is. I am certain that the productivity or the actual fruition of those ideas, hands down, is going to win if you had it written.
Yeah.
And that's what that's what the HypnoBiz Success Blueprint does, and it does it where it's kind of fun. And so for right now, we have the AI bot on the front end to get the basis, and then it goes into niching. It goes into building out your lead magnets, your funnels, your calendars. It goes through everything. And again, this is created. We have a version of this that does not require you to be on the HypnoBiz in a Box platform. You can do this with your own, software stack, or you can look at it to be able to know what to build in a software stack if you don't have one yet. And then you can use your own if you want to. I encourage you to use one where it's all set up, because inside the platform, we do the same thing with the HypnoBiz Success Blueprint. And Melanie gets involved in that. And Melanie's my wife. She's my business partner. She's owner of MindWorks Hypnotherapy. She's the president of the Hypnosis Education Association. And she works with our subscribers on Saturdays, personally. I mean, there's weekly open office hours and all that, but we want to get people through this and just see people's faces light up, because we know the ones that finish it are having a blast, seeing clients and enjoying their lives. Really, they're not weighed down by their businesses. Their businesses are serving them.
And this is so for anybody who's not familiar with the platform that Shawn is talking about, the marriage of this blueprint to the platform itself, because I'm intimately familiar with the platform or a version of it that you're using. And there are a robust offering of tools within this platform. So much so that if you don't have a plan, it can and it will be incredibly overwhelming to you.
And that's exactly what we saw. We saw it, and in fact, really what this does for both people inside or outside HBB, it simplifies really what you need to be looking at any point in your journey. It narrows down what you need to be looking at if you're just starting and wanting to grow. It narrows down what you need to look at if you want to streamline things. Like if you got bunches of people showing up, but it's like you need a freaking break, you need to have some systems in place. And then, if you want to have any chance of having some really cool reoccurring revenue and more time, retirement, or whatever you want to call it, scaling, creating legacy, things like that. This HypnoBiz Success Blueprint will help you do that no matter what stage you're in. Ultimately, it produces an organic lead magnet funnel system. That's the end result of the blueprint. Is all this stuff will be gathered, be these interviews on niching, on messaging, on your avatar, on creating content. And, it moves from there onto, all the different moving parts you'd need, calendars, follow-up, email, system, that just everything, right? And the end result is that you have a system in place that works on autopilot. Really, ultimately, all you have to be doing once you follow the blueprint is just taking some consult calls and tweaking your systems, taking some consult calls and then working with clients in sessions to create the impact. And more, once you have that in place, your tension and everything can shift away from the overwhelm and, the having to work on your business, right? And let it work for you. Let the system work for you so that you can be in there and have fun. Have fun helping people, because that's why most hypnotists signed up for this. They didn't sign up to be marketing, experts or social media or business or any of it. This seems really familiar to me because my background is in the entertainment business. I worked for many years with kids with Disney and Radio Disney, Nickelodeon, all doing concerts and doing artist, development. And, I compare hypnotists to the artists that I work with, because hypnotists come in like artists do with talent and passion and drive and energy and, the wanting to share and that they care and that kind of deal. But they really just don't know the first thing about business. And that's, to me, I like my artists to know enough about the business to be able to manage it, but not enough to where it pulls them down in it, to where they can stay in the creative zone. And I think that's another reason why we created this, because we could see that hypnotists are very artistic. They're very creative humans. And I like to just free up some headspace for them so that they can get. I talked to hundreds of hypnotherapists. I mean, I went through a list of hypnotherapists the other day, sorting them, and it was amazing how many names I recognized. I could see their faces in my head from going to the conferences and talking to them on Zooms, and majority of them just want to be able to do the work and have the business simplified for them. So that's what this does.
Yeah,
and it's going to be a fun presentation.
And it's a little bit different, but it's not wildly different in nature. But as a stage performer, my career in hypnosis, in order of time commitment, 1, 2, and 3, running the business. Number 2, the travel.
Yep.
Number 3, the shows, the hypnosis. The thing I do is number 3 on the list of time commitments.
Yeah.
And that's with so much of what I have happening business-wise, automated and on the back end.
I was going to say, even with great systems, you're likely still in that flow. And wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We're actually working on a version of this 4-stage hypnotist that'll combine part of, just the support. But I'm going to get too far off track. But there's light at the end of the tunnel for some stage hypnotists as well, because they've been asking, and we listen.
Well, good. It's because I have, in all of the years that I've been using something very similar, it's been I want to do this. Now I have to go out and learn how to do this within this platform.
Yep.
And maybe it works, and maybe it doesn't work, and maybe it's to send something up to the developers, and then 2 months from now it'll work the way I want it to work now, and all of the things. So to have something, because again, when I started mine, it was blank canvas. Nothing was built for me. Nothing was there waiting for me.
You're a brave man.
Yeah, it's an adventure. And I mean, look, it's the platform, as you well know, is expanding and growing and developing, and there's new stuff every couple of weeks, if not more frequently, which is super exciting.
We're definitely in an exciting time of, I can't imagine doing most of what I do without the technology that's available now. I mean, I'm sure could find a way, but I mean, just all the way across the board technology. So, hopefully this will help reduce some of the tech overwhelm that I hear about a lot too. And, with the AI bot on the front end kind of warming things up, and then the flow of the blueprint, getting them to, an end result that then within a short period of time, they actually see results. They see money. That,
right.
It's fun. It's fun watching it.
Awesome. Well, this is an exciting one that you've got to check out, and it really shouldn't matter whether you're on the clinical and therapy side or on the stage side, because this type of stuff is stuff that you should have on the back end of your business. And there are certainly other options out there. Like you said, you guys are working on something for the stage side. So whatever it is, I mean, this stuff is brilliant. Like I currently, as of 2:24 p.m. Eastern on June 19th, am in active discussion, conversation, nurturing, whatever you want to call it, with 14 different school shows that I'll be doing fundraisers for in the fall, all simultaneously, all different schools. And within the system, within the platform, I can go and tell you what conversations I've had with who, when, who's been sent promo materials, who hasn't, because if you could imagine working off of
try to keep that in
napkins or a notebook or whatever it is. It's all in one place. So I don't have to reach out to somebody and say, hey, can I send you my promo kit if I already have and embarrass myself? Because
number one, contracts in there, you put your riders in there, you
all
put
all of it's right there.
Yeah.
And the best part about it, to take it even one step further and peel back really how powerful this stuff is that I never once in any of those 14 engagements asked any of them. My platform, my system, and another AI bot that's trained and designed to do this work, the tool that does the work, is who asked them, hey, can I send you out a promo kit so you can, get this in your hand? Got the address from them and then pinged me to say, hey, send a promo kit to this address. Like there are manual components to it, but for the most part, my system does all the work. It's
Melanie calls them her robots.
Yeah.
It's fun. So I just program my robots and I ask them really nicely to go and do all that work. And I only have to ask them once.
That's right.
and I barely even need to check on them because they just.
But if you do, this is the great thing, though. You have the ability. You can see all the conversations that the robots are having with people. If you front face them, you don't have to, but it's a very, very valuable and powerful tool if you do. And then you could be like, hey, thumbs up, buddy. That was great. Keep saying that. Or if you see something that it's saying that you don't like, you can fix it. And it'll never have the problem again. Yep. If there was something that somehow randomly came up that wasn't what you wanted it to say, okay, cool. Don't say that anymore. Say like this when you have that question. Boom, done, fixed forever. So, or until you change your mind.
Senior, are you presenting this year too?
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. I am doing a talk that I also did at the Performing Hypnosis Summit that is geared toward newer stage hypnotists to kind of push the baby birds out of the nest and talk about key things to do in that first year or so as a stage performer and key things to avoid that first year or so as a stage performer. I
said on your one last year. It was great. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah. I was demoing mentalism routines that I used to do a different way and then retooled them so that they kind of feel like hypnosis. Fun times.
Super digging it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time.
Yeah,
super excited and looking forward to the summit coming up in just a few months here. And the summit, the conference, whatever. We'll be there.
We actually have a summit this Saturday.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Busy times. No shortage of opportunities to take all this stuff in. So wonderful. I will see you in a couple of months, Shawn. Thank you so much for spending time with me.
Take care, man.
Thank you for tuning in to the Between Two Minds Behind the Scenes podcast. Be sure to follow us on social media under Between Two Minds with the number 2 instead of TWO or under Enter the Impossible. Thank you, and we hope to see you back for the next episode.